another one of the reasons. But in the contest arena that is Hawaii, Pipe Masters, and of course the QS contest that make up the Triple Crown at Haleiwa and Sunset, plenty of swell, plenty of room out in the lineup, so no reason not to run four-man heats. And here's a three-man heat.
I guess you can keep each other company too, can't you?
Yeah, well, I think some of the guys actually kind of prefer knowing that there's three other guys out there, especially when it's a 10 to 15-foot Hawaiian style.
No kidding.
You hear stories of guys getting lost out in the lineup, even in four-man heats when it's macking Sunset. So I think even, who was it? Parsons was talking about some of his early heats early on in his career out at Sunset, just in tears. Of course, you wouldn't think about that of Mike Parsons today, but that's right. Back in the day, we were all rookies once, and Mike.
So.
Yeah,
yeah. We all cried once in the lineup at Sunset. Okay, heat number 12, round number 1 in the water right now. Surfers include Dean Morrison from the Gold Coast, one of the coolie kids, no longer a kid, a kind of a semi-grown-up, but not quite. Michael Lowe, also from Australia. They call him the Keg. His parents-in-law are here in Mundaka with him, and won't that be a goad to drive into new heights of competitive glory?
Sampling the local Spanish beer.
Absolutely. And then
the Keg, speaking of the Keg, here he is.
Well, here he goes. Michael Lowe on the first wave of the heat. A quick ride. Not much to ride home about that one. And both those surfers are out there, and they're facing the amazing Roy Powers from Kauai, one of the most talented surfers on tour, still kind of in the rookie zone.
But, first year on tour, rookie member of the Wolfpack out here, of course, getting plenty of support from the rest of the Hawaiian contingent.
And why wouldn't he be?
Our other rookie, Pancho Sullivan, Freddie P., and of course the other two Kauai boys, the brothers, AI and BI. Bruce and Andy giving Roy plenty of support. And Roy, though, still struggling to make his move on the top 27 qualifying spots this year. I think he's sitting down in 40th position right now.
Yeah, well, you know, Roy, it's kind of received wisdom, isn't it, Dave, that when you're a rookie, you come into this man-on-man type situation, and it's kind of a trick, you know, and it is. It is a bit of a trick. It's a difficult system to get your head around. Some people manage it really fast. Most people take a year or so to really get used to the rhythm of it, you know, because really, when you think about it, the workload isn't that high, man. Like, you know, if you don't have a good year, you might only surf 25 or 30 man-on-man heats in a year.
But you need the experience.
Yeah, you need the time. So it's a really tough one. Now, up and riding, boom, off the mark. Dean Morrison. Oh, lovely floater there from Dean. Oh, jeez.
That was radical. See how
put that together.
Like
bit of hand drive there from Dean as he went off the lip.
Yeah. Maybe little twisting and shaking up on the in that floater re-entry there, but
maybe we'll try and get a bit of a replay going of that wave, and we'll just see exactly
what went down.
What went down there. Paddling.
Who is this? Roy.
That's Roy, boy. Up and riding here. Roy Powers squeezing a bit of speed out of this down the line. Very smooth Hawaiian style surfing here.
Mr. Powers has got his mojo on this morning.
Oh, he so has.
How's that?
You know, Roy's been out here surfing a fair bit. He's a really happy, friendly kind of guy, Roy Powers.
Once again, always a smile on his face. And super smooth surfer as well. There are kind of shades of Parko in that last wave.
Shades of Parko in that wave, and a really nice quick opening ride there from Roy Powers. Couple of questions coming in for us just before we
as everyone paddles back out.
Just before another wave's ridden. Judy Slater's written into us asking if Kelly will be surfing today. Well, you know, it's unlikely. It's possible, but it's unlikely. I sure hope he's here, man.
Yeah. We don't have the heats on the draw sheet yet for round 2.
Well, he's going to be somewhere in the middle of the round. You know, he's you know, being that actually the top seed is going to come into play
in round 2. So we could see Kelly today. Actually, everyone stay with us. This will be one of the surprises of the day. Was that?
Yeah, that's Dino Morrison getting
replay, but that wasn't it.
Now let's have a little replay of Dean's opening ride here, and you can see form of a cooler kid. Now watch how compact Dean is. He keeps everything really close, throws himself up, down, really clean, and that's the key to Dean surfing. Everything's really compact. He doesn't waste much space. And look at the hand drive as he comes down off the top there. A natural stylist there, Dean Morrison.
Elko-esque.
Oh yeah, Elko with a few style bells on.
Exactly.
And nice opening ride there from
Remember,
Dean Morrison.
Elko's on site, huh? We got to watch what they say about Mr. Elko.
Yeah,
too.
the big bloke's on site, and we'd never say anything bad about Gary anyway, would we?
Never,
now?
ever. No.
Friggin' way in the world.
And that last two-maneuver wave from Dean Morrison, a 3.83, what we just watched on the replay, 4.5 of his last wave that we have not seen the replay of, and actually that we missed half of while the cameramen were getting their act together.
And it wasn't a bad little wave. It does put Dean in front. By no means conclusive in this heat, though. No one's come out yet and dominated in this heat.
Over 24 minutes remaining, too. Plenty of time to go.
Plenty of time to go.
But right now, Dingo's sitting on a 4.5 and a 3.83. Second is Yellow, Mick Lowe, with a 2.0 and a 1.57. Needs a 6.33. And third, Blue, Roy Powers, a 3.33 on his first wave. Needs a 5.0 to go to first. But as you can see, the best wave scores we've got up on the board right now are average wave scores, and these guys will definitely not want to have those in their score line 24 minutes from now. So plenty of action to come, plenty of work to do still for our three surfers in the water. Once again, Dean Morrison in red, Mick Lowe in yellow, and Roy Powers in blue. Anything interesting coming in from the World Wide Web there, Nick?
Well, let's see. There's a couple of people want our jobs.
Fair enough.
I don't know what they're thinking. Up and riding now, down the line. Looks like Mick Lowe is up and riding. He's scooting down the line here. Mick, from the south coast of New South Wales, rides waves somewhat like this quite often. Down his little zone there. There's a spot called Windang Island, which is a long left kind of semi-point, semi-reef type wave. And there's a couple of epic river mouth sandbars that I'll err on the side of discretion in naming.
And not name, yes.
But they're not unlike Mundaka, and Mick has a really good record at this event. He's well liked in the town. One of his old boards hangs in one of the bars.
In the Chopas bar?
Yeah, in the Chopas bar. And so he's no stranger to this place, and I guess looking for a really good result here right now.
Definitely. Well, Mick currently, where is he? As far as our seeds go, 28th seed into this event, so on the qualification cusp, and we'll definitely be looking for a good result here, especially with the in-laws in town.
Oh yeah, they'll be wanting to see the best of their son-in-law, won't they? I mean, they'll be wanting to know Amanda married the right kind of bloke, a winner.
And speaking of another kind of bloke, Dean Morrison, once again, current heat leader. That was a big bash off the lip there to start.
Geez, I get the feeling this wave's going to get away from him. It does indeed. Dean Morrison diving off his board clean out the back of the wave. Polished, quick, snappy performance there from Dean. But he's going to have to get in gear at some point, because Mick Lowe has recorded a really good score on that last ride. A 7.67 puts him into the lead. More importantly, I think he can kind of log that in as one of his top two rides with a fair bit of confidence.
That will be a keeper for sure for Mick. That does put him in the lead. Dingo, Dean Morrison now looking for a 5.18 to take the lead back off of Mick Lowe. And Roy Powers now looking for a 6.35. So all of those still very attainable scores. A 5.0 for last of red Dean Morrison. And interesting strategy there, because Dean just decided to really surf the last section of the wave, which is kind of the cleanest, but does run away from you after about 2 or 3 maneuvers. So nothing better than a 5 for Dean for right now. Still 21 minutes remaining, plenty of time. But let's see if Dean's going to paddle out and join Roy and Mick up the top of the points. Or actually, all the guys are pretty much surfing the last third of the wave here in this one.
They are, aren't they? And there's Mick Lowe. You can see him surfing down the line on this wave, looking for another good score to back up his 7.67. Finishes it off. And we'll be crossing to GT in just a moment. Greg Tomlinson will be bringing us an interview with the heat winner from the last heat, Philip McDonald from Australia. So take it away, GT.
All right, I'm standing here with the winner of Heat 11, the third heat of the day, keeping the red jersey streak alive, Mr. Phil McDonald. Phil, the highest combined score of the round so far, too.
Yeah, I mean, the conditions are so hard out there, and guys are kind of getting through with 2 6s. Then I paddled out, and Taj was like, this is the biggest wave that's come through, and I got it, and I got a 7-3, and then I paddled back out, and Hedgie was a bit deep for a wave, and I ended up getting it and just got around the section, and just kind of kept letting me do floaters, and let me all the way down, and it gave me an 8-5, so when I got that, I was feeling pretty confident, and I don't think any more waves came through for the next 20 minutes.
And that kind of works out when you're in the lead, right?
Especially out here today. I mean, anything over 7, you got to bet your money on you're going to win a heat, and especially if you start like that, it's just hardly any waves coming through. It's pretty hard out there, and yeah, to get 2 scores like that was pretty lucky.
Pretty big deal. Now. Okay, Ash, pull back a little bit. Bro, what's up with the dodgy equipment, man? You got like a broken nose. Did you do that out there, or?
Nah, I did it the other day, and it was pretty funny because on the other side, right here, I creased this the other day too. And I didn't even know I creased this, and I was just surfing with Taj when I came in, and he's like, oh yeah, you creased some balls. I'm like, yeah, and he's like pointing up here and going, yeah, creased the tail. He goes, no, the nose. I'm like, what do you mean? I looked at the nose, and the nose is in half, but it's just got to hang in for about 3 or 4 more heats in Mundaka, and I'll probably put this board to sleep when I go home.
I was going to say, I probably could help you organize a ding repair if you need to, but once you have a magic stick, you just don't want to mess with it. Is that the deal?
Yeah, well, I just kind of haven't had time to really fix it properly, and it's all right. It's kind of holding in, and I've got a few backup balls that are pretty good too, so I'm just going to see how it goes. I've got a day off now, so I might even pull the ding fixing kit out and attack it myself, see what happens.
All right, well, congratulations on your victory, and at least I got a sticker for you if you need one, Macca. Okay, boys, back up to the tower with you.
Well, great, thanks a million, GT, and tough luck, Macca. Stop snapping your boards, man. What's up with that?
I don't know. If everyone stopped riding potato chips, maybe they wouldn't snap them. But that's it. Today's high-performance surfboards. And a replay of Roy Power's last wave.
That's right. Here he goes, Roy. All the way from Kauai up. Beautiful top turn. Look at that. The polish of that move was just lovely. Really up again. Always keeping an eye on the upcoming section. And it pays off here with a beautiful snap, 360 combo thing. Down he comes.
Little backside reverse re-entry for Mr. Powers.
Geez, he used that wave really well. Deceptive stuff there, because while it was happening, it looked like it was very, very slow and elegant and all that stuff. But when you see the amount of stuff he packed into that very, very short space, you realise that guy was moving real fast.
Very radical surfing, quick on his feet from Roy Powers in the blue singlet. Bringing us back to a few of the questions been coming in. Jerome, who'd like to know, how come the surfer with the red singlet tends to win their heats? Nick, you want to give Jerome a little answer on that one?
Okay, well, here's a big one, okay? Okay, the red is such a nice colour. No, okay, I'm kidding. The truth is that in these heats, these 3-man opening round heats, the surfer with the top seed wears the red, the surfer with the second top seed wears the yellow, and the surfer with the bottom seed in the heat is wearing the blue. And so what you see right now, Dean Morrison, being the top-ranked surfer in this particular heat, has the red singlet. And so naturally, I mean, if you're higher up the rankings, then it follows that you probably got a bit of form going. And maybe
you're going to probably get the better results.
You might be bringing home the bacon in that opening heat.
Doesn't happen every time. Right now, it's our second seed in yellow, Mick Lowe, taking this one out with a 7.67 and a 4.07. Second red, Dean Morrison needs a 6.75. His best wave score up to now, a 5-point ride.
Indeed.
And third in our lowest seed in the blue singlet out of Hawaii, Roy Powers looking for a 7.87.
And it's out there, Roy. Just stay with it.
Yeah, you can get it. It's there. Find the diamond in the rough out here at Mundaka today. It is doable.
Yeah, well, ongoingly, I don't even think that's a word, but I used it anyway. I mean, I wouldn't be the first.
Continuing along.
Yeah, I wouldn't be the first commentator to use a word that doesn't exist.
Speaking of
ongoingly, right? The conditions have changed once again. There's a light onshore breeze blowing in from what looks like to me like the north-northwest kind of direction. It's not dead onshore, but it's almost dead onshore. And I think it's swung that rip round, Dave. I think it's blowing the rip down into the wave a little bit more. Here's Dean Morrison down line. Boom. boom, a couple of quick ones. Can't make it around that section. Yeah, that light onshore wind is now beginning to affect the lineup. It's pushed that rip back down the line of the wave a little bit, and it's causing the wave to crumble down on the inside there, where previously it's been really clean.
Of course, southeast winds being the optimum wind directions down here.
Yep, and this being
offshore.
Yeah, and this being a northwest.
Well, yeah, exactly.
It's
not
pretty much
the greatest, but at least they're light and variable onshore winds here at Mundaka today.
That's right.
We're just 25 minutes off the low tide, so we should see that current starting to calm down a little bit. But it's true, yeah, you can see the bump just out the back at where guys were taking off in the first heats of the morning is now roaring rapids.
Look at the crew there. Some of the crew from the Mundaka Surf Club there. They're enjoying the morning, and they're taking advantage of the hospitality of the ASP, and of course the ASP's beverage provider and sponsor, the men's WCT overall umbrella sponsor, Foster's. That's they say it's Australian for beer. I think it's a universal language, Dave.
Oh yes,
beer,
lovely amber lager, beer. Just like Homer Simpson. Homer would feel very at home here.
Oh, wouldn't he, man? Oh, yeah.
Invite him over.
This is Homer Simpson country.
There's Adriano de Souza, our highest-ranked Brazilian surfer, currently sitting just outside the top 16. Had to miss his round 1 heat. They thought he had a kidney stone. Lucky it was just a kidney episode. Drinking lots of water.
Yeah.
Keeping himself in form.
Flushing. In fact.
And just a quick shout-out to Mary. We'll send along all of those messages to Mick, but remember his wife and in-laws are here with us in Mundaka, so keep control of yourself, young lady. And no, Sammy, we didn't say that. Mick Lowe is here with his in-laws and his lovely wife. Plenty of people more. Taylor wanting to know if Mundaka is surfable on a 16-foot high tide. Well, with 10 to 15-foot swell, maybe.
You bet. I can imagine. It would be insane, wouldn't it? Like a full-on 15-foot ground swell and a super high tide. This would be such a heavy
show on Earth.
Man.
Yes, it would.
God, you'd need a really big board, a lot of paddling moxie, and you'd need to have this whole sandbar so dialed. And you'd need to have it dialed about how to deal with the wipeout situation, because you'd just get friggin' hammered and
washed out the other end of the bay.
Spat right out the end of the bay, and you'd
definitely
need to be able to deal with that.
doing it with jet ski assist.
That's
because
right.
anything else would be a true nightmare.
Well, yeah. It could result in a very embarrassing situation, even for a brilliant waterman.
Yes, indeed. Plenty of messages still coming in. People would like to see a replay of Mick's last wave. We'll try and bring that back to you if we can. And hello to everyone in Orange County, California, where it's 2 a.m. People just getting off work. All the bartenders out there, sit back, have a nice cup of coffee. Speaking of coffee, the answer to how many cups does GT drink in the morning or need during the day, well, that's a good baker's dozen, but that kind of goes for the rest of us as well. They get us up early here in the cold and the rain and the dark. So most of us have had about 10 cups of coffee before we get on the mic.
That explains a lot, doesn't it, ladies and gentlemen? We
Yes,
apologise.
it does.
We apologise for that coffee consumption.
That's just the way it goes.
That's right. Currently leading this heat, Mick Lowe from Australia, a 7.67 and a 4.07.
And apparently we'll be bringing back another interview with GT as we come up to the 11-minute and 10-second mark. 10 seconds to our next interview with GT.
Here by Mick Lowe, and we'll cross to GT, and we'll just wait till this wave is done. Bam! Mick goes off the top. Bam! Another one. Almost gets there.
Yeah.
He's not known for the air, but he pulled it that time.
Frontside ollie to lip slide there as we slip our way on over to GT in 3, 2, 1.
Hello. Hi, web viewers. My name is GT, and I'm with contest director, Mr. Mike Parsons. Mike, thanks for catching up with me.
Thanks, GT. Yeah, we're stoked. It's been a few lay days we've had, and we got the rain and the weather, but we have a little bit of swell.
Blew up and riding Roy Powers. Nice little off the top to open up this wave for him. Bounces it off the lip one more time. Let's see. Ooh, a little doinky-do right there. Might not make a replay out of that one. So tough days, though, man. We've had kind of a couple hard goes with J-Bay and Tahiti this year. Is this going to be any different?
I hope so, GT. It has been rough. You know, the first 5 days of the waiting period, we basically ran 6 heats. You know, we did 2 the first day and then 4 another day. It was very difficult. Of course, that's because we have the huge tide swings here at Mundaka. And this morning, the first heat was unbelievable. The guys couldn't even stay in the lineup. I mean, it was like a river. Basically, it was incredible. I was just stoked that it's kind of calmed down now. It's moved over on the bank. There's some good quality surfing going on now. Phil McDonald have a couple 8.5s and stuff. And as a contest director, you're always hoping that those big scores are, you know, available for the guys to get. Plenty of ways for everyone to get opportunities. So despite the rain and everything, we finally got some swell here at Mundaka. Yesterday we had the expression session over at Backyo. It was, you know, it was pretty good for about an hour and a half, right during the perfect tide, and then just stopped. So difficult decisions, but we're stoked we finally got waves today.
Well, you always seem to make those right decisions. I mean, you must play a lot of poker when you're not on tour because, you know, yesterday I'm like, Snips, don't you think we're good? Look at how fun it is. You're like, dude, we'd probably get a heat and a half off before it dies. And sure enough, it was gone.
Well, that's the thing about Europe in general. I mean, you got a 15-foot tide swing, so you really got to kind of know what the banks are going to do and kind of predict what's going to happen from the previous days. And, you know, we've been here a week now, so we're kind of getting a feel on what's happening. So basically, you know, our window's getting shorter. We're going to have to run a bunch of heats over the next few days to fit this thing in. Normal contests, we run 16 heats around, no problem. But today, I'm hoping we can get past this round 1. We got 8 heats, and then we'll decide based on what the waves are doing.
So you sleeping at night?
Not at all.
All right. Well, it looks like maybe we might have a set coming in now, Mike. As soon as we get done here, you got to go to the tower because you and Dino are going to take over commentary. Are you ready for the task?
Yeah, we're going to do a couple heats. It should be fun. I'm looking forward to it. A couple good heats coming up, and then, like I said, maybe we'll get into round 2 today, and we'll have some great heats.
Well, I hope so, there, Snipsy. Okay, we're going to send it back. We have a paddle, yellow with the paddle. It's Mick Lowe. Mick Lowe is up and riding on his forehand. Look at him go. Such a good bottom turn, that one. A quick tight off the top. Here comes inside, floats it. Let's see if we can come around the corner. Boom! Gets 3 nice little boppers right there. Right behind him, Dean Morrison in red. Dino stands up, backhand now, baps it once, comes around the corner, quick little tight snap into the lip. Snipsy, there's still some fun ways to be had out there.
That was a nice wave for Dean Morrison. Good exchange there. That's what you like to see, each guy getting, you know, a shot at it. So Mick Lowe and Dean Morrison going back to back there. There's some good waves coming through.
Well, we'd be out there. Let's send it back. We got to give Mailman and Nick Carroll a shot to give us their parting thoughts before you take over the set, Snipsy. All right, back to you, boys. Dude, we're awesome. Best day ever. Oh my God. You guys doing all right?
We'll break because kind of need to go get some water and lube up our vocal cords a little bit. Meanwhile, back out in the lineup, hey, how light on his feet is the keg, Mick Lowe?
God, he's
the heaviest surfer on tour, maybe with Phil McDonald, but floating like a butterfly, stinging like a bee out there.
Yeah, well, you know, underneath everything, Mick's really a honest-to-goodness power surfer, and you could see his application of power in those turns. We might see if we can get a couple of replays of those last couple of rides there. 2 surfers looking real different there. In fact, Mick on his front side did one extremely critical turn, which you will see in replay if we can bring it up. A really, really critical mid-face turn that put that board really on its side. It was a trip to see, and I think the judges will have appreciated that. In fact, yeah, they've filed a pretty good score there, a 6.83 for Mick Lowe. And
putting the pressure on.
Dino's a clean wave, really nicely ridden, but maybe not quite as critical in that second turn.
No,
and they've given him a 6.33. So really, I think.
Still in second, needing an 8.17, and Roy Powers is pretty much out. Here is the replay.
Now, let's watch this. Mick Lowe up and riding.
His best Muhammad Ali impersonation.
Now, watch the snappy speed with which he drives his way up into this. Boom. It all happens real quick there.
Well, he uses his power to gain speed and then throw down the big tricks, doesn't he?
It's a real squirt there. And now this is the critical turn here, the one that got him scored. Look at how that board was on the side as it came off the top there. And now last big critical smack, and around he comes. Really solid surfing there from Mick Lowe, staying real close and tight with that braking
power, just throwing him up into the lip, allowing him to bust the tail out.
Yeah, and now let's watch Dino's replay. Down he comes, real smooth. the smooth master, Dean Morrison, off the top. Beautifully composed turn, that one. See him make his judgment here. Stays with the lip, but coming down, it wasn't quite as critical as Mick's mid-turn. And now here comes his last beautifully judged floater. That was just a little, I think probably a hair's breadth ahead of Mick's last turn.
Yeah,
so that pulled his score up near Mick's, but it wasn't quite enough to equal it.
6.83 for last of yellow Mick Lowe, and a 6.33 for that one that you just watched on the replay from Dean Morrison. So these two really battling out. That's Dean's girlfriend, lovely lady from, and a Billabong model. There we go. We got the boys. Well, you can see why she's modeling for the Billabong crew.
And up and riding. Here's Dino's trying to strike back now, and the wave just backs away from him, and he's off the back of the wave.
Still looking for an 8.17. That'll be a big ask.
It will.
We have seen some, I think it was Phil McDonald throw down an 8.5 already today, or an 8.33 actually. So excellent wave scores are out there to be had, but very difficult to find them. And Dean does need an excellent wave score, an 8.17. Roy Powers could use two good wave scores, or good and an excellent. 4 minutes remaining, and Roy looking for a 14.51 combo. So we can pretty much say that this one's over and done with for Roy. We'll be seeing him in round 2. And Dean Morrison, though, Dingo, still with a shot at this one. Looking for an 8.17. We have 3 minutes and 45 seconds remaining. And interesting positioning, because Roy's the farthest out of the three. Mick's kind of sitting in the middle of the section, and Dean's just waiting all the way down the end.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think's going through their, tactically, what's going through their minds right now?
Well, you can see the man who really needs the big score is the guy sitting out the back. Roy Powers is furthest out along the lineup. He's the one that needs a long wave that's going to score him big points. So he's going to hold that inside position to the death in this heat, even if a wave doesn't come. Mick, halfway down the line, he's in the classic position of the heat leader. He's not too worried about Roy Powers, to be honest, right now. Mick, his concern is with Dean Morrison, the guy sitting furthest down the sandbar. Dean is trying to wait wide and kind of tempt Mick into making a mistake in the dying minutes of this heat. So you can see the strategies are pretty clear and mapped out for all three surfers right now. They just look like they're just normal surfers sitting in lineup, but they've got a lot more in their minds than that.
Most definitely, Nick. And there we can see Danny Wills, our surfer in the red singlet, therefore our highest seeded surfer, 13th seed coming into this contest, out of Australia, making his way down.
Yep, like a lot of our surfers today, he's riding the smallest wave equipment that he's carrying with him, a nice flat rocket little board. That one looks like it's going to be moving pretty quick under Danny's feet.
And speaking of boards, a lot of questions coming in about the Firewire boards. Seen a few of them lying around the contest site. I think Taj was riding his Firewire in heats in France and has continued to do so here in Spain, so obviously they work for him. Seen Andy with a Firewire. It's a new technology. Nick, do you have any insight on that Firewire technology? Or
yeah, look, I do. I
know it's come out of Australia, so I'll let you take over on that. On that one.
Personally, I've done fairly extensive testing on a Firewire myself, and the boards are built in a quite interesting way. They have a rail stringer rather than a stringer down the middle. There's a rail stringer that goes around the outside, and that seems to cause the board to flex a little bit differently to a normal surfboard. It's also built with what they call expanded polystyrene foam, which is then layered over with a thicker, tougher foam over the top of that, and then glass with epoxy resins. It's really a high-tech board, but it's got that cool low-tech thing about the rail stringer being made of balsa. Balsa making this incredible comeback after 40 years in the back blocks, you know. And the boards are beautiful, especially in small surf. They really seem to squeeze and flex, and you saw Taj and Andy both riding.
Looking like they're riding bars of soap through the bathtub.
Yeah, how dare they? You know, cheeky fellas that they are.
As
anyway,
if they didn't make it look easy enough as it is.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right. And so people wanting to know what the long-term predictions are. Well, today it was supposed to be 4 foot offshore and sunny, and instead it's about 2 to 3 onshore and windy.
Boom. Well, we see Roy Powell's working his way down the lineup here. Roy waited for that wave for at least 6 or 7 minutes, and it paid off. A really nice ride there for Roy Powers. That's probably going to be his closing ride. Outside him, the man who's got a chance to overtake Mick Lowe for the lead, Dean Morrison, really giving this wave a belting. He's going to come surf right down past Roy there with a quick attempt at a 360 off the phone there.
Reverse re-entry there. He needed an 817. He definitely strung together quite a few maneuvers on that one. Of course, once again, it's not the number of maneuvers or the size of the wave that counts, but the most radical maneuvers in the most critical part of the wave. We'll see what the judges thought of that one. And we've just heard the